What up, boys? What up, boys? What's poppin', boys? Happy Easter stream. Almost forgot to say it. Happy Easter, everybody. If you be celebrating Easter. Give me a couple moments just to get set up, as usual. We trying to get the stream on the TV real quick. And you guys see the thumbnail. Jon Jones involved in a road rage incident. I think it was a couple days ago, but footage surfaced last night. You know, got caught in 4K on them Ray-Ban Metas yet again. Them pesky-ass Ray-Ban Metas, boys. Homie got caught in 4K on them bitches. That's all right. You know, shout out to Jon Jones. Seems like, to be honest with you guys, it's like nothing's really going to happen with this. So, you know, at least that's my opinion. If you want my just raw thought right off the back, skip all the fluff, it's like nothing going to happen, bro. It's just a video that surfaced. You know, it's all good. Jon might have been carrying a pistol, might have just been flexing like, you know, or fronting like he was carrying a pistol, but he wasn't. You never really know. But the hand in the pocket, you know, definitely makes you think, doesn't it? And that was the whole goal. That was the whole goal in mind. I see a lot of people commenting like, homie's right-handed, the left hand is in the pocket. Nobody in their right mind would be walking up on some random, gripping the gun with their non-dominant hand. And I kind of agree with that. So maybe he was just faking. Or, you know, maybe Jon's a good shot with the left hand. We just don't know. We just don't know. Jon Jones 12-6 says, I had a gun. Shout out Jon Jones 12-6. Been a minute since you've been in here, homie. But yeah, happy Easter to everybody. Taking me a minute to get the vibes going here, but happy Easter to everybody. Shout out to Mike Coe for being the first one in the chat. My man, Mike Coe. All right, shout out Mike Coe. Good to see you in here, big dog. Dun Daughter says LFG. Shout out Dun Daughter. We got Space Kid in here. Shout out to Space Kid. We got, once again, Jon Jones 12-6. Shout out to Jon Jones. Tony Sal, what's poppin', Tony? Maiko says hand in pocket, a bad look for sure. That was the whole goal, you know, so don't blame us. Don't blame us for speculating whether or not homie had a gun when homie's whole entire intention in keeping his hand in the pocket the entire time is to, you know, flex like he got a gun. In my opinion, when people have their hands in their pockets, it's usually not a good thing, you know, whether you're in a fucking grocery store or something like that. If you got your hands in your pockets, it's like a sign that you're probably stealing something. And I can even say that from experience. You know, anytime my hands are in my pockets, I'm usually up to no good. But Perfecto says streets are here. What did I miss? You didn't miss nothing at all, homie. You didn't miss nothing at all. You guys see what I'm doing right now, though? I'm doing something in the chat. Anyone notice or no? I think somebody notices. Anyway, Jon issued a statement about this whole thing, so we will speak on it. But this isn't the only thing I'll be speaking on today. Hair looking a little wild. All right. This isn't all we'll be speaking on. I figure I will react to the whole UFC Vegas 115 fight card, main card in particular, the main card and any other fights of notability that took place, you know, on the prelims, but not every prelim fight is going to get covered. Although I'll speak on pretty much everything, to be honest with you. There's only a few that I won't hit. The women's fights, Darius Flowers, I won't touch that one. Everything else I could probably touch. Oh, Guilherme Pat versus Thomas Peterson, didn't watch that one. Rather take a shit than watch that. You know? But anyway. Yeah, we'll react to this card. And then, I mean, honestly, man, we could speak about UFC 327. That's the other thing. We could speak about UFC 327. Did you hear Tyra and Van are moving to 328? I did see that. Lord of the Pies, I did. I did see that news. But yeah, UFC 327 fight week is underway as well. Zuffa Boxing was on today. Who cares? You know, who fucking cares? Dana thinks he could just like put guys in there to get knocked the fuck out and then post it on the internet and say, holy shit. And it's just like that easy. Like, Dana, somebody should slap your dumb ass, bro. Hate Dana. Hate Dana. Dana's setting dudes up to get knocked out so he can go viral. And all he does is post the video with a holy shit caption. Like, bro, it's just not gonna work. Dana and his stupid ass little formula, thinking that it works. Jim Lotus, you're retarded. What's poppin', boys? Hey, I didn't mention this. Everybody run up the likes on the stream if you're just now joining. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. Once again, run up the likes on the stream. We want 25 every evening. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. AI2A, is your bitch ass in a good mood or a bad mood today? I just got to know off the back. You know, I don't feel like being a fake nice guy. Or not even a fake nice guy. I don't feel like being a nice guy to somebody who's just going to throw it in my face. You know what I mean? So AI2A, you let me know what type of timing you want today. Before we even get started. Before I even read any of your bird brain fucking chats out. See the difference now, AI2A? I'm not even waiting no more for you to set the temperature. You know what I mean? I'm already on smoke with you on go. You're gonna have to wave the white flag right now if you want me to be nice to you. That's how it is. That's the type of timing I'm on, AI2A. You got to wave the white flag because I'm setting the temperature today. For you and your bitch ass. I see your little 3-line chat, not even reading it. Don't even care. Until I see what type of timing you're on. Shout out Meat Rocket. Shout out Tony Sal. Shout out You're Retarded once again. Yeah, that's my thoughts on Zuffa Boxing. I think this guy Uritzin Garcia got knocked out by Andres Cortez. And it's like, he's 23-2. But something just ain't right. You know, something just ain't right. I feel like Uritzin got set up. All right, AI2A gonna leave. Perfect. See you later, fuckface. Ain't nobody stressing. Nobody tripping. It would probably be better off without you if I'm being real. You and your bad vibes. You feel me? Go ahead, hit the road, big dog. We'll see you. We'll see you when we see you. Anyway, yeah, 25-0 against a. Well, I guess he was 23-1 at the time. I promise I'm not gonna miss you. AI should just get banned out low. He could see himself out. I'll leave it up to him. I'll leave it up to him. What's poppin', Jew? Yeah, he had one loss before this. But like I say, you know, this one, I know it when I see it. I know it when I see it. Yeah, AI2A, he always likes to build me up just to bring me down. So I just started off the back with like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Don't give a fuck anymore. Well, let's just get into it then. I guess let's just get into it. That's pretty much what we got to talk about. I mean, nothing crazy. But UFC 328, that's what I was going to mention. I got stuck on this because Zuffa Boxing's the front page of Tapology. UFC 327, as a matter of fact. Tyler Betts, what's poppin', big dog? I see everybody filing in. I love it. Happy Easter to everybody. Hope everybody had a good day. What did I do today? Not shit. Did not do nothing. As I'm sure you guys all know by now. I would have done something, but I don't got no family in town, so I just fucking chilled. Bicked it. You feel me? Okay, UFC 327 underway this weekend. Before we get into the Jon Jones incident, UFC 327, we're without the main event or the co-main. You know, Joshua Van versus Tetsuro Taira got moved to UFC 328. Apparently, Van got an undisclosed injury. But, you know, here's the 327 card. So we'll look at it. But, you know, shout out to Chris Taco Padilla, friend of the program, going up against Markel Medeiros. I like it. 3-0 in the UFC. Last fight on the O'Malley Davalishvili 2 card. Kevin Holland, Randy Brown, Aaron Pico, Patricio Pitbull. Wasn't that one? No, that wasn't booked, right? Cub Nate, Landwehr, Dominic Reyes, Johnny Walker, Curtis Blades, Josh Hockett, Ozmat Merkanov versus Paulo Costa, Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. Not bad. Free AI2A, he ain't do nothing. I made it real simple for AI2A. I said, wave the white flag and we'll be cool. He don't want to wave the white flag. He got too much pride. You know, he too big of a baby back bitch to wave the white flag. So, fuck him. Fuck him. All he had to do was wave the white flag and said, I want to be nice. I offer a truce. For him to get butthurt over me setting the timing for the one time, you know, this dude comes in here every fucking day with his bad attitude and his bad vibes. I always, you know, address him with positivity first until he, you know, makes the first move on the chessboard. Let's keep that in mind. You know, I always address him with positivity first, forgive him in an instant. You know, the second I see a positive chat from AI, back to positivity from me, pretty much, unless I'm trolling him about Nick Diaz and Nate Diaz. But aside from that, you know, I never really, you know, start off aggressive with him. I do it one time, give him a taste of his own damn medicine, and homie's crying and tells me he's going to leave. So leave, homie. We ain't finna miss you. Oh, yeah, and, you know, obviously we'll talk about Moicano saying that UFC Vegas 115 was fucking shit, right? We're going to speak about that. But first, let's speak about Jon Jones. Let's take a look at this road rage incident that surfaced last night. But think about it like this. You know, this is kind of the state of MMA. It's like, as much as I would like to talk about fights, it's just like, and combat sports in general, maybe it's just this weekend. But as much as I would like to talk about fights and, you know, controversies, there's just not much. Like, we had Deontay Wilder, Derek Chisora take place this weekend. Should we talk about it? Not really. It's Deontay versus Derek Chisora. What are we going to talk about? You know, we've seen it already. You know, two unks, blah, blah, blah. We know the storyline. Nobody cares, right? Deep down, nobody cares. But the funny thing is, when you say these fights are shit, like, the thing about the internet is that nobody really comments positivity. If you support something, you just kind of like support it in silence. But what gets people to comment is when people negatively bash something and say this fight is shit. Then you get all the people commenting back, arguing back, being like, don't disrespect Deontay. These guys are good guys. But in all reality, so it gets confusing, right? It almost makes you start to think that people care about this shit. But they don't, you know, because the way to gauge it is after the fight, you know, what are the storylines and what are people saying? Go read those comments. And you see them all. It's like Battle of the Unks. You know, we get it. Both of you guys retire. The Unks, you know, two washed dudes. So... You know, Deontay versus Derek Chisora, not really worth talking about. And then, you know, Renato versus Chris Duncan. We're not even really going to talk about the fight. We're going to talk about Renato just trashing the card. We're going to talk about Renato in his post-fight Octagon interview after the win. Because the fight is like, it's cool, but you beat Chris Duncan. And who the fuck is Chris Duncan? You know, don't get mad at me for saying it, right? I took the words out of Renato Moicano's mouth. So again, you know, a lot of the hardcores, let me just get into this right now and shout out Tuxedo for the $2 dono. Fuck with the Jones, get the horns. Fuck with the Jorans, get the horns. My man. Thank you, Tux. I'm about to spit off this thought though. Give me 1 second. Damn. 1 second. I cannot let this one slip. Oh no, this is what I was gonna say. So, you get a lot of the hardcores also gaslighting. They're also gaslighting Renato right now, right? They're also gaslighting Renato right now. But it's like, I'm trying to tie this in. This is the same thing I was just talking about with Deontay Wilder type shit, but a little bit different. Because let's speak about it. Before we even get to Jon Jones, we'll get to Jon Jones when we do. We will get to Jon Jones when we do. But right now, I think we almost got to go back and speak about this one first. I think we almost just got to address this first. So let's speak about it. Okay, let's speak about this. I said the thing about Deontay Wilder, Derek Chisora. If you were to diss it in the comments, the fans love to rebuttal you and be like, show some respect to these guys. So it confuses the narrative. Same thing happens with Ronda versus Gina, right? People are going to start defending Ronda and Gina because I be bashing the fuck out of them. That's how I start to notice this shit. And I'm like, there's just no way. There's just no way people actually fuck with it. They're going to be bashing it once the fight's over with. But until, it starts taking place, people are going to be backing them up when other people like me talk shit on the fight, So there's that side of things in combat sports, so to speak, that confuses it. But what's very confusing about MMA in particular is these, I'm going to say it, these toxic hardcore fans, bro. You guys are not, I don't know, maybe it is a lot of people in the chat, right? But you guys are so toxic when it comes to the UFC, right? You suck it off so much. And I want to try to figure out the exact wording I want to use. It's like you suck it off so much, you big up these Vegas 115 cards full of nobodies, Chris Duncan in the main event. I didn't fully down this card. I didn't fully down it, but it's just like, to make it seem normal in any way that this is how the business should be run, I think is criminal and toxically positive. Okay, this is why I call you hardcore fans toxic. Because you guys are just willing to let anything be wheeled out here, any type of slop get wheeled out here, and you guys are willing to watch it because you just are thirsty for a knockout. Like, what is the deal? I can't understand it for the life of me. But let's go over some of the comments. Like this dude right here. Right, this dude right here with a cope, and it's like, look at 139 comments. These are all the toxic hardcore fans that went straight to the comments when Moicano, made this statement that Apex card was fucking shit. Because what do the hardcore fans do? Let me give it to you. The hardcore MMA fans go like this. When you say UFC Vegas 115, Chris Duncan in the main event, it's shit. Blah blah blah. Right? What do the fans say? They go, oh, you don't need to know a name. This guy's saying it right here. I don't even mean to go into his narrative. I'm trying to tell you guys my own thoughts right now. But when you do this thing of saying and being critical of the UFC and saying UFC Vegas 115 sucks, why is Chris Duncan in the main event? This has nothing for us. People are like, you're not a real fight fan. Why do you need all the shit talk, and why do you need all the this, and why do you need to know who they are? You should just be down to watch the fights and study martial arts and techniques, as if all the fan base are just these fucking black belt, kickboxing world champions. Shut the fuck up. You guys don't even train. And you'd be telling us that we need to watch this dog shit slop to be like understanding techniques and shit like that. Like, no, we fucking don't, bro. It's actually like fucking making me dumber watching half this shit. And I don't know. I just hope that gets get across to you guys. And I'll read this comment. Like I said, Renato Moicano saying UFC Vegas 115 was shit. It's his own main event. It's his own main event, and he's calling it shit. He has more stake in this than any of these fucking fans. These toxically positive, hardcore fans. JT goes, it's an Apex card, number 1. 2, Moicano isn't a megastar in the making. I agree with that. Moicano was tripping when he says, I'm doing this all backwards, but fuck it. Fuck it. I don't have the time or the patience right now. Moicano, he says, like, you have Moicano as the fucking main event in Apex. Are you kidding me? Homie, you're built for Apex cards. You got Apex written all over you. No, I don't mean to down him. And I'm kind of now that I say that, I should probably take some of those comments back. He killed it on the post-fight press conference, in the post-fight interview as well. I'm talking both of them. press conference and the interview, he killed it. So he is kind of made for like a pay-per-view card slot. To be honest with you, he's better off on a pay-per-view card slot. He does build it up pretty nicely, but at the same time, putting you on an Apex card at the state of your career is like on par with where you should be. You're not some young upstart. You already got your title opportunity against Islam and things of that nature. So you being on the Apex card is kind of par for the course. That's the one thing I disagreed with. Shout out to Tuxedo once again for the $2 dono. He says, deep breaths, Perry, deep breaths. It's like, I don't got time for deep breaths. I'm trying to get this all out. You know what I mean? When I get passionate about something, I'm just zeroed in and I don't really give a fuck about nothing else. So thank you. I'm gonna work on the deep breaths, but likely not, because like I said, I just got to get this out. I'm too excited. You know what I mean? I'll think later. I'll take my deep breaths later. Right now, I'm just gonna get all this out. Can I please, let me read this comment again from the beginning. Okay, this toxically positive hardcore fan coping, to Moicano saying UFC Vegas 115 was fucking shit. Okay, let me read it. 1, it's an Apex card. 2, Moicano isn't a megastar in the making. 3, GSP, Anderson Silva, Jon Jones, etc. We're all no names at one point. It's like, bro, fuck off. Chris Duncan is no GSP, Anderson Silva, Jon Jones. Enough already. 4, most importantly, names don't make fights. Yes, they do. Or else we would all watch the PFL, you genius. If someone needs to have a massive name for you to watch a fight card, that means you aren't a big fan of combat sports. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. You guys are killing it. You guys are putting the expectation way, way too down low. And, if everybody thought like this and was okay with this, the product would be even more shit. Dana would be wheeling out an even more shit product. The only reason why Dana feels obligated to give us a decent product these days, better than what they've been giving us, is because we're bitching and moaning. All this stuff from JT Box, this not bitching and moaning when it is deserved, is counterintuitive, hustling backwards, toxically positive. Nobody cares. I don't give a fuck if it has 139 likes and 20 comments. Okay, this is toxically positive, and this will do nothing to benefit the sport. Speaking about a Chris Duncan in the same breath as GSP, Anderson Silva, and Jon Jones, you got to be fucking kidding me right now. You know what else GSP, Anderson Silva, and Jon Jones don't have in common? They never lost to a fucking Renato Moicano, an old and washed fucking dude on his way out who couldn't even fucking sniff winning that title shot, let alone getting one if Armand didn't pull out. Need I say more? Yeah, that's what else GSP, Anderson Silva, and Jon Jones don't have in common. They never lost to a journeyman like Renato. And I don't mean to do this, but you guys make me disrespect these fucking dudes all the time because of the fucking toxic positivity on the other end. It's just as bad. And then I got to counteract it by saying shit like this, calling Renato a journeyman, because this dude's speaking about Chris Duncan in the same conversation as GSP, Anderson Silva, and Jon Jones. I'll take my deep breaths later, motherfuckers. You feel me? Because I'm spitting right now. I'm cooking. And before my neighbor starts bitching and moaning and dropping the hammer on the fucking on the floor and shit like that, let me get my crash out over with now and early. You know what I mean? Let me get this shit over with early. Franklin, thank you very much for the $20 dono, my big dog. Okay. Franklin only drops big bags in the chat. We already know it. So shout out to Franklin. Thank you, homie. Much appreciated. And also a special shout out to Tuxedo once again. Thank you, homie. I know I kind of glossed over it because I was ranting, but thank you once again, homie. Everything is appreciated from you boys. Money. He goes, money mo for show, easy bread, can't miss. What's new? Shit, what's popping, homie? What's popping? What's popping? Looks like you put money on a Renato Moicano, Franklin. That's what I'm gathering from you dropping the $20 dono. Money mo for show, easy bread, can't miss. What's new? Homie had to have made a bag off Moicano. And, I picked Moicano to win 2 by sub. I just didn't get the round right. But, now someone else put it in perspective. I'm just going through some comments now, but someone goes, it wasn't a bad card, just didn't have important names. Let's not forget Moicano was not known till he started to actually say shit on the mic. All of that is pretty much true, actually. I mean, there's not one thing I could disagree with. It wasn't a bad card. It actually wasn't, right? But it didn't have important names. And so, once again, yes, we all watch, but it's not about just keeping the same old people watching. It's about bringing new eyes into the sport at all times. People forget that. People like fucking JT, hardcore toxic positivity, he forgets that shit. You know? We need important names, bro. Because the only people who watched it to say it wasn't a bad card are the hardcores. Let's keep trending in that direction over the course of a year. All we're gonna do is just lose fucking fans, right? Lose viewers, right? If we're not bringing in new ones, all we're doing is losing. Because it's inevitable. People are gonna fall off. They have kids. They grow up. They have new hobbies. They get new jobs. You understand? It's about bringing in new all the time and also trying to keep the old. You're not even keeping the old by giving us not important names. And best believe when these toxically positive, degenerate gambling fans, I don't even want to say it because I know we got some gamblers in here. But it's just like, I know the gamblers in here are also critical of the sport. And that's all I ask, Like, just because you guys fuck with the sport doesn't mean you can't be critical. And it's just like, bro, let you lose all your fucking bread, you know what I mean, on gambling. Then let me hear you start bitching. But all the way up until that, you were fucking toxically positive. Paying attention to fucking scrubs not even worth mentioning. That's why a lot of people know these no names, because they be betting, and it's fine. But shit, homie. If that's all true, then I need you to say UFC Vegas 115 was shit and Chris Duncan didn't deserve to be in the main event. So to speak. Not that he doesn't deserve it, that we deserve better. We deserve better. Shit, maybe Chris Duncan did deserve it, but the picking should be so slim that just because not everybody who deserves it even gets it. We're getting charity main events in Chris Duncan. It should be the complete opposite way around. It should be like Chris Duncan, maybe he did deserve it, but we deserve better. We deserve better. And that means we deserve fighters who check all the boxes. Just like Renato Moicano is complaining about the fact that like he checks all the boxes, but his opponent doesn't. Renato Moicano deserve better. We deserve better. But no, here we are catering to fucking Chris Duncan. Why? How? Who the fuck makes these decisions? Renato doing everything right. He checks all the boxes. We're doing everything right. We tune in every fucking week. We're loyal fans. We watch. Even when you wheel out slop for fucking 8 weeks straight, we sit here and we watch and we just get our fucking brains numbed. We deserve better. Renato Moicano deserves better. The only person who's kind of mid and average and just like, why the fuck did he even get it is Chris Duncan. And it's no offense. That's the thing that keeps getting through to you guys is like, that's no offense to Chris Duncan. It's just like, it's so charitable, bro, that like, yeah, I'm going to offend Chris Duncan a little bit. It was so charitable. And again, why? Maybe just to fill a slot? Is that what it is now? We just fill in slots. We just fill in slots. That's what we do. We just fill slots. That's why Chris Duncan got the main event. That's why us fans are getting gypped because, we're living back in like 2020, 2023 times, right? That's where we're living back. But now from 2020, basically 5 to 26, it's just been dog shit. And this has been the indication that they don't care about us. We're living in the time where we still think they care about us, but we're in this new time where it's like they don't care about us. They care about fucking, making sure that they got two fucking human beings to wheel out in the main event. Just two dudes. And again, Moicano's not one of those dudes, but it's like, come on. Chris Duncan would have deserved if he won. Maybe, Drew, but he's still a relative unknown. And what are his highlight reel finishes? What fans are really fucking shouting Chris Duncan praises? I would argue that a guy like Marwan Rahiki, he keep doing what he's doing. You put that no name up in the main event, and then you're like, you know what? We don't know this dude, but check out this highlight reel. Feel me on that one, Jew. Feel me on that one. Because Chris Duncan would have deserved it. I'll just disagree. Chris Duncan would have deserved if he won. I'll disagree with that. And I'll say no, because it's not if he won or lost, right? It's What have you done in the UFC? How promotable are you? How much are fans behind you? Right? It's a main event slot. And so my opinion is Marwan Rahiki, fans think he a cool dude, right? He kind of like a good looking young man. Let's just check that box off. He gets crazy ass knockouts. Let me just catch him one time making some crazy call out on the mic. That's a dude who's a relative no name. You prop up in a main event and you say, nah, trust me. Trust me. Let me give you guys another one. Ethan Ewing. All right. Ethan Ewing is another one for you boys. He's a relative no name. You slide him up in that main event slot. Win or lose, we fuck with him. Win or lose, we fuck with that dude. Chris Duncan lost on Dana White Contender Series to Vyacheslav Borishlav, who is now out of the UFC. He came back and he won on Contender Series, earned himself a contract, right? That's the guy who just got pushed up to a main event, a guy who lost to Vyacheslav Borishlav, who is out of the UFC now. Do we see kind of these comparisons, this little fucking map board that I'm drawing out right now? Yeah, Jew says him losing to a washed money shows us he never deserved that spot, and that made it a filler main event. Yeah. And now it's like, he'll never be up there again, so why do we even put him up there in the first place? I blame the fighters who aren't ready or willing to fight, you feel me? Shout out to Tony Sow, okay. Tuxedo, thank you again for the $2 dono, homie. He says, I hate to see you with roid rage if this is you, Natty. Bro, this is me. I wanted to drink a little bit of coffee before this, but I just said, fuck it, no coffee. It's a little bit late, although, I really don't care. I usually stay up late as fuck anyway. But surprisingly, I got no coffee even. I just woke up from a nap, made a little bit of chicken and rice, and I hopped on stream. That's what I'm running off of right now. This pure chicken and rice fuel. Let me, I got to turn off a timer. I had sweet potatoes cooking. 1 second. All right, so believe it or not, after all that raging, I feel quite a bit better actually. I feel woken up. I feel great. So I know I just did all that raging, but actually that woke me up. I feel great. Surprisingly. The Tiny Hats bought the UFC and now it's ruined. Shout out to Tuxedo. I didn't want to necessarily say it, Tux, but I mean, it feels that way. AI2A says, anyway, how was your day? Yeah, it's like AI2A be shout out to AI2A, but let's just put it like this, and I'm just trolling. I really don't feel bad for myself, so don't get it twisted. But it's like AI2A comes in here with bad vibes. Then AI2A, I'm forgiving you. I'm letting bygones be bygones again because I'm back in a good mood. Okay, but it's like AI2A comes in here talking shit to me immediately, putting me in a bad mood. Now he's asking, how was your day? It's like, homie, this is why you shouldn't have been fucking rude to me. Because, like, shit, I did nothing today, homie. I did nothing today. You feel me? Didn't see no family, right? And it's like AI2A just talking his shit. It's like, of all days, you should be nice to me today, homie. You feel me? But I'm trolling. I really don't feel bad for myself. I'm more so trolling. So don't feel bad for me, please, nobody. I talked to my mom today. And that was good enough. But anyway, AI2A, that's just a little guilt trip, homie, because you never know who you're being rude to. You feel me? And I didn't start off the rudeness. I only matched the energy. So, don't, it ain't no double standard here. I was being rude to you because you started that shit. Shout out to AI2A. We can be on good terms now. You know what I mean? Don't let me catch you fucking talking shit again, though. Off the no caffeine Castro don't give no fucks. It's like shit. I didn't know I had it in me off the no caffeine, Jew. But I guess I got it in me, homie. This ain't the first time I've been tripping off no caffeine either. Gotta still have those sweet potatoes ready. Yeah. I'm prepping the sweet potatoes so I can munch on them after the stream. I just knocked out for like 4 hours, so I was fucking starving when I woke up. Like, just starving. Boy just reached out and said, I got sweet potatoes in the oven, hold on. I know. I thought that was hilarious too, how I mentioned it. Shout out to Jew. Jim Lotus says, you need to go vegan. Chicken has bad karma in it. Damn. You know, Jim Lotus, as the days go by, I'm starting to believe the earth could be flat. You know, the firmament. I saw this video the other day where they're shooting a rocket up into the atmosphere, but then they're explaining how the rockets don't go straight up into the atmosphere, right? They scrape the firmament, and the firmament is a dome shape. Yeah, Jim Lotus. I came across a conspiracy theory video the other day, and I was watching it about the flat earth. They say outer space ain't real, which I always kind of like, you know, let me just put it like this. I never really believed the moon landings, okay? I feel like I'm a flat earther, but I just never made it that far because there's two things that I've latched onto over the years. You know, one, I think they faked the moon landings, and two, give me a second to think about it. Oh yeah, I don't believe in satellites. And that was the video I watched. They were explaining how like satellites are fake. It's all a charade. You know, it's a big charade. Big charade. I don't want to get too into the flat earth. People are going to judge. No, I don't believe it's flat yet, but I mean, shit. Maybe I got it bookmarked on X. Like we could watch it together. All pesticides, no coffee. No, make sure you boys buy the organic coffee. Shout out America First. Tuxedo, thank you for the $2 dono, homie. I want a title for all my donos like Corporal Tux. I mean, Tuxedo, whatever you want me to call you, we can call you that, homie. Corporal Tux sounds good to me. I can call you Corporal. Shout out Corporal or Sergeant. Kind of flows off the tongue a bit better. Corporal, a bit of a tongue twister. I feel bad for you, Mom. Yeah, we feel bad for Mom. She didn't get to kick it with me today. You know, my mom, she probably wishes she was kicking it with me. As do I. As do I, of course. Space Kid says I fuck with AI. Me too. Me too. Look at AI. This guy a clown. Look at him. Look at him again. Look at him again. All right, AI. Just don't catch me at a bad time, homie. Because usually I'm willing just to like overlook most of your clown shit talk. But when you catch me at a bad time, you know, you definitely don't like it. So do what you do. It doesn't really affect me. I just be trolling you, you know. And someone's gonna be like, you cope, and he definitely affects you. If he affects me, then I'd be crashing out over him calling me a clown. But you know, it just depends on the mood I'm in, really. Whether I want to latch onto the words he uses against me or not. Anyone watch the moon launch? Crazy fake. Well, that's what the video was saying. They were saying that like the rockets, they don't shoot straight up. They shoot like, you know, and they scrape the firmament. If you know, you know. If not, then there's no point in explaining it. Buyer seller says the beef is over now. Is it? With AI2A, I mean, I tried to just call it a truce. Then he calls me like a bitch or something. They don't show the astronauts during launch, and all footage is digital once they reach space except the initial launch. You know, but how about there being no satellites? You know, a lot of people were on me about there being no satellites. I've been saying this since like fucking 2016, 2017, when I was basically still kicking it with all the high school homies. You feel me? Like 2016, 2017, I was straight saying, yo, there's no fucking satellites, because I was listening to Eddie Bravo and Joe Rogan back in the day. And Eddie said there's no satellites, and I believed him. And then everybody made it seem like I was tripping so heavily over that I kind of backed off it. I was like, you know what? This is too much flack. I'm getting way too much flack for this fucking idea. Like, people really stopping me and like asking me to explain myself, and I don't even got the explanations ready. So I'm just going to leave this alone. But I swear to God, you know, I really do believe that there's no fucking satellites, bro. What the fuck? You know? And I really think that like the more you get red pilled by the world itself, people lose their ability of common sense. And I'm saying that because I feel like when I was younger, that no satellite shit made a lot more sense to me then. But now that I've been even more brainwashed by the way the world fucking is fake today, it just like makes it so much harder for me to believe that there's no satellites. But I do believe that there's no satellites, truthfully. You know, how the fuck we got these things floating up there in the sky right now? You know what I mean? When you're younger and you don't know half the shit, you know, when as you get older, it makes a lot more sense to call that shit bullshit. But it's like they tell you so much fucking, they put up all these like distractions to confuse your ass. And we get into the weeds now. And they're a bit of deep thought. So if you don't get it and you're lost, that's probably right where you should be. You know, that's a conversation for the conspiracy theorists of the world. You know, I'm sure all you guys are following me perfectly. You guys got me. What's the flat earth explanation for GPS? Jim Lotus, do you got an answer for us? I don't got the answers, and I didn't claim that I believe in flat earth, but I said I'm starting to get red pilled as we speak. You know, I can admit that. I'm starting to get red pilled. Look what happened to Jim Carrey. He got replaced for Loki speaking truths. Yeah, he got cloned. I see that. There was even people on a plane filming it from Space Kid. Tyler Beth says they don't show the astronauts during launch and all the footage is digital once they reach space except the initial launch. Yeah, I don't really believe in the moon landings. You see them all calling the black Canadian astronaut jacked, had his shirt off for the NASA update video, and was scraping his bare toes while the other bro was trying to eat, LOL. America first dropping a Bible verse. Isaiah 40:22, which mentions the circle of the earth, and Job 26:7, which states the earth hangs on nothing, aligning with a suspended round body. America first. People say that the Bible is what claims that the earth is flat, though. So that's why, you know, like Tyler Beth said, I'm not convinced either side, though, TBH. It's like it's too hard to decide it, but you know, people say that the Bible claims that, you know, the earth is flat, essentially. Buyer seller says, how's UFC Vegas 115 shit? Great finishes that night. Buyer seller, UFC Vegas 115 wasn't shit, but there were no names on the card. And, you know, that's why it was shit, because Chris Duncan was in the main event. There are saddies in the atmosphere. Yeah, I don't really believe it, buyer seller. I don't got the explanation, but I just don't believe it, okay? I'm just gonna stick with my gut feeling. It's my gut. All right, I gotta stick with my gut. Not to be confused with Khalil Roundtree crying, basking in the glory, remembering Alex Pereira digging in his guts. If you know, you know. Yeah, Jew goes, it's all fake in this life we live. Why are we holding on to the earth being round? Like, what's the big deal? Why is it so angering? Why does it anger so many people? It wouldn't anger me either way. Some people get really pissed, though. Cupcake says facts. Jew says government lies about everything, but we still holding on to space is real, earth is round. Facts, though. It's like, hey, I'm starting to get red pill, Jew. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting close. Tyler Betts says Franklin Kramer got to fund all the Perry Punchers to launch a rocket led by Jim Lotus. Shit, with Franklin's fucking investment fund, we could do anything, Tyler Betts. Shit, with Franklin's investment fund and Jim Lotus's knowledge, we would literally conquer the world. And then Drew says, I'm believing in Jim Lotus. Shit, we stand with Jim Lotus. We believe in Jim Lotus. It didn't start off that way, but damn, I believe in Jim Lotus now. However, I'm enjoying steak. Fuck this vegan shit. I do enjoy steak a bit too much. They are Saturloons. They use balloons with cameras, GPS. Cupcake. I think we watched the same video, homie. And they drive vans around. Simple. Oh my god, I'm dying. I'm dying. And they drive vans around Simple. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yep, yep. I think we watched the same video. Cupcake. I think we did. Um, the Earth is actually a square if you think about it. You're actually a square if you think about it. I'm sorry, AI2A. It was just right there for the taking. It was right there for the taking, AI2A. You a fucking square if you think about it, but that's all right, AI2A. I'm sure the Earth is also a square if you really think about it. uh, AI2A just lobs up softballs for me on the daily. The thing is, if you flew west, the thing is, if you flew west, I got his bitch ass towards Hawaii, you'd get there faster than east. That's why it's not flat. There's no edge of the earth. Okay. You know, buyer seller, the other thing that works in your favor if you're not a flat earth supporter, this is just a theory I heard. You know, apparently for snipers, you know how snipers have a side man who be getting the coordinates of the shot and shit like that with the goggles essentially. I don't know what they're called. Binoculars. Apparently, you know how they got a pen and pencil. They be writing down their math equations as they're looking through the binoculars. You all seen the movies, right? The sniper movies, right? Either the sniper or you got a guy on the side and they're looking through the binoculars at the target and they're doing this little formula, right? The guy's adjusting his scope and then boom, he fires that bitch off, right? They say that the math formula they're doing when they're writing in their notepad before they fire off the shot and dial in their scope, they say that formula factors in the curvature of the earth, meaning that the earth is round, right? Shout out Franklin. I'm gonna read this in a second. Just let me finish this thought. And thank you, homie. Thank you. But the earth is round because snipers, when they're making these far ass shots, 700 yards, I don't know, I don't even know, okay, I know nothing about it, but I'm just saying 700 yards, right? They have to account for the curvature of the earth, right? So if the earth wasn't round, then that would be a bullshit formula, right? Because you're basically adding something in that doesn't need to be factored in. Or they just say that and it's all a lie. You know what I mean? And they don't factor in the curvature of the earth. But wouldn't some sniper come out and say that already then? Some sniper would be like, they claim that, but that's not the truth. So I don't know, but I'm just saying that's an argument for the earth being round, is that snipers, their math formula to get the shot accurate from hundreds of yards away, that math formula factors in the curvature of the earth. You plug that in, to the coordinates. Thank you, Franklin, for the $20 dono once again, big dog. I mean, Easter Sunday, you boys are definitely, gifting on the super chats, so much appreciated. Between Franklin and fucking Tuxedo. Much appreciated, boys. You're making it a good Easter Sunday. Can I just say that? But Franklin goes, this one's for Lotus making me a believer, LMFAO. Bro, Lotus converted 3 people in the chat and he don't even say much. He just spams the same few comments and we all believe in him. Shout out to fucking Jim Lotus and shout out to Franklin for the $20 dono again, homie. And shout out to Jim Lotus for getting me that $20 dono. All right. W Easter boys, shout out. The earth is square, you moron. Juice says, we don't know if there's a edge because we're not allowed to find it, just like that hidden spot in Alaska that they block off and don't let anybody in because it's rumored to be a edge. Yeah, I've heard about that. So many arguments. We need like a 3-hour debate just to like sit there and watch it. He will appear and quickly make himself known. Oh, America First says satellites will be used by the Antichrist to govern the whole world. The appearance of him is near. The technology is here. By God's mercy and the Holy Spirit that holds him back, one rapture happens. Damn. Boys, I had a lady come up to me today on Easter Sunday at Walmart and tell me that Jesus loves me, and she started preaching. She was a sweet lady, though. She said a prayer for me, too. But she was telling me something along the lines of what America First said. She said that, like, you know, she was telling me that I shouldn't be committing sins. Well, actually, shout out to Cupcake. Cupcake's gonna like this one because I know the other day I said something about like, you can commit sins and just pray for forgiveness and God's gonna forgive you. But the lady kind of explained it to me. Sorry for this tangent, but I'm gonna explain it anyway. This lady kind of explained it to me, and she was like, um, God, he forgives you for your sins, but it's not a green light to just commit sins and then ask for forgiveness because the sins that get presented that you end up committing are the devil in disguise. And so how many times are you going to fall for the devil's tricks? Right? That's also a direct disrespect to God and Jesus themselves. So it's like you can pray for forgiveness and he's always going to forgive you. But just know that like sin isn't just like, oh, an innocent bad act. You're literally following Satan. That's what the lady was telling me. And it was a bit of an intense conversation. But I was like, damn, you kind of right. You kind of right. Like, yeah, it's not chill just to sin and pray for forgiveness. Like, it ain't easy either to just not fucking make the damn sin. But it's like, she kind of right. She kind of right, boys. And that's not to say I'm just going to turn around my life and start living that way. I'm still going to commit my sins, but it's definitely food for thought. Definitely food for thought. Definitely not something I'm really going to forget. I thought that was a pretty powerful thing to say. I like this. Shout out to Space Kid. Yeah, that's what the lady told me. Then she put her hand on my shoulder and like prayed for me and shit. I was like, damn. I was like, did God just send me an angel, bro? Jew says Catholics do it. Hey, pastor, forgive me for I have sinned by fucking a hooker every Sunday in a box. Yeah, Jew. Yeah, the lady had broken English. I feel like she dissed the Catholics. To be honest with you, while she was speaking, I feel like she might have said something along those lines about the Catholics. It went right over my head though. Went right over my head. But she might have said something like that. But yeah, it's like the lady, shout out to that lady because that was some good advice that she gave. I won't repeat it, but that was definitely some good advice that she gave. There we go. America First goes, here's the deal. God knows that as long as we are clothed in his flesh, the flesh is weak, we will commit sin. But with that Holy Spirit within, we can have more strength to suppress our sinful nature. And that's it right there. That's it right there. That's it right there. America First. Well said, homie. Well said on Easter Sunday. All right. Of all the days I'm allowed to preach on Easter Sunday, and I'm just telling you a story. Some lady came up to me and told me all that today. She spoke to me for like 7 minutes in Walmart while people were just walking around us constantly in the middle of the beauty aisle. I was trying to get some shampoo, and she came up from behind me and she said, Jesus loves you. And I said, well, thank you. I love Jesus as well. And then she went on doing the whole thing. Cupcake says, also buyer seller. No, that's not true. The flight paths are totally different than what they say. I missed buyer seller's chat. But anyway, just to give the full context to wrap up this one topic, shout out to everybody watching, by the way. If you guys, Easter Sunday, let me not be in my negative bag, all right? If you guys could please like the stream, all right? 25 likes on the evening, it would be appreciated. Usually I'd be trolling. I'd be crashing out right now over there only being 12 likes on the stream. But I'm not going to do that. If you guys could please just run up the likes. If you forgot, it's all good. Just run up the likes on the stream now. Shout out to everybody. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. All right. We're live every day. We're probably touching 40 days straight now. We're going for a full 90. This week, this last 7 days has been the toughest 7 days of this whole streak just because of the bleak nature of this last fight week. There's just nothing to talk about. It was Deontay Wilder, Derek Chisora, Renato Moicano, Chris Duncan fight week. The biggest news was Jon Jones, road rage incident, and Renato dissing his own card. LO, she didn't think you were gay, did she? No, but I do have some stories about the gay fucking gym homie. Maybe I'll tell you at the end of the stream. Homie just like a borderline stalker, bro. And I told you boys, I've kept my word. He's dead to me. He's dead to me. He could get as close to me as he wants. There will never be any acknowledgement. Meaning like he could stand right in front of my face and stare at me for 5 minutes. Like I'm a weasel went my way out of that confrontation without saying one word to him, without looking him in the eye once. You know, for longer than like half a second. Homie so gay though. Homie, I'll just say it now. You know, homie, the other day tries fucking lifting right next to me. I'm doing the hack squats on Friday. Homie shows up. Tell me this: who the fuck does calves before you do legs? You got to be a brain dead idiot to run calves before legs. All right, you want to just weaken yourself before you even hit legs? Go right ahead. Yeah, don't ever ask Castro for advice on your calves, boys. So calf checker again. Here's the new deal with calf checker. You know, I'm over here doing hack squats on a Friday night like Ronnie Coleman. Okay, this is the type of timing I'm on, and then I got motherfuckers just like bothering me. Like I'm worried about being like Ronnie Coleman on a Friday running legs. Okay, if you know, you know. But Ronnie Coleman always saved Fridays for legs. So long story short, you know, running legs on a Friday like Ronnie Coleman. Okay, that's where my mind is at. And homie comes in, ruining my leg day in honor of Ronnie Coleman. He's still alive, but we honoring him anyway. Okay, he comes right next to me, ruining my leg day, and starts hitting calves right in front of me. Now we all know I don't want to talk to that motherfucker, so I completely ignore him. You know, I weasel around the place. Just know I weasel around and just prevent any eye contact by any means necessary. So like, you know, he comes over, he does a little bit of a calf workout, then walks back around. Like I told you guys, you know, this dude be running all over the gym. You know, you know, there's two people. What you go from machine to machine, right? Constantly. You're just constantly moving around with your ADHD ass. Or, you know, you lock in on one, max two machines, and they got to be right next to each other. Okay, we are not walking across the gym to do two machines at the same time. That's fucking goofy. And in my opinion, unacceptable. But that's what this dude does. Figures why I don't fuck with him. I'm only saying that to say that I told you guys a story of before where he was camped out one time on a machine, and I told you he not really like that. So anyway, this is lore. These are for all the hardcores, all right? So you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, he does the calves. He walks away. I still got a couple sets left on my hack squats. You feel me? So I'm finishing it up, and then as I'm finishing it up, as I'm literally finishing it up, this dude comes up and he starts doing hack squats on the machine right next to me. And it's like, bro, I just saw you come up here and do calves. There's no way you're doing legs today. There's no way. Yes, exactly, Space. Get calves before legs. It's like I just saw you doing calves. There's no way you're doing legs today. And of course you gotta so regardless of that, let's say you are doing legs today. Your first two workouts are the ones that happen to be right in front of me, calves and fucking hack squat. You're a goofy, bro. You're a fucking goofy and you're zesty. And I don't know why you want to be around me. You know, I don't know why you want to be around me. But it's like that's the truth. Is like we could go so many different ways with that. We could go so many different ways with that. But you're going to hit calves first on a leg day. Okay, error number one. Error number two, let's shoot you some bail and say, okay, you were going to hit legs today. All right. But the first two machines you use are the ones that happen to be directly next to me. Cap, bro. Cap, dude. Perfecto goes, OMG, you have to be a gym dude to love this. Okay. I thought he was saying something else, so I just got distracted. Yeah, you got to be a gym bro to love this. But anyway, the first two workouts you're doing are right next to me. That's fucking cap, bro. That's fucking cap. That's fucking cap. So you know what I did? Because I was like finishing up. I got done racking all my weights. And I was like going to get my backpack and walk away. But I felt weird because like this, I don't know if this dude knows I don't fuck with him. I'm pretty sure he knows. I'm pretty sure he stalks me fully and watches the streams at this point. That's really what I believe. He's probably going to see this too. And if you do see this goofball faggot, oh God, shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Whatever. I take that back, all right? That one slipped. That one slipped. I shouldn't have said that. I regret saying that. I'm not co-signing that. Those aren't good words to use. Okay, to be honest with you guys, I don't even use that all the time. That shouldn't have been said. That shouldn't have been said, but it just flowed out the mouth. All right. So I need to calm myself down a little bit. But if he's watching, and see what I mean? See what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. See what I mean? But that just got me heated because it's like, if you watching, bro, then fuck you. You know what I mean? That's what I really want to say. If you watching, then fuck you, bro. Quit coming up to me. Quit coming up to me, bro, on your goofy weird ass. You know, quit it, bro. You watching this shit, you know I don't fuck with you, so just leave me the fuck alone. If you really watching this. You feel me? Because there's no, like, fuck you. So anyway, going back to it, that's just a side note. But going back to it, right? He comes up, I finish my set, I rack my weights, and then he walks up right next to me. There's two hack squat machines. I'm on this one, he walks up to this one. I know that if I go fucking turn around, I'm gonna make eye contact. It's gonna be awkward. It's gonna make it seem like I just brushed this dude off, right? So I'm trying not to, even though he probably knows the truth. And so I just went over, there's like a pull-up bar, like right parallel to the hack squat machine. You know, basically like that whole wall is like squats. But they got pull-up bars on the squat. You know, you guys should get it. If you're a gym bro, you get it. You know, it's all squat racks against the wall next to the hack squat, but all the squat racks have pull-up bars on top. There we go. So I left my shit next to the machine. I went and I just did some pull-ups on the squat rack real quick, and then I waited for him to basically start his set. Then when he started his set, I jumped off the pull-up bar, grabbed my backpack, and walked away. It's like, we're not doing this, bro. We're not doing this. I will make it obvious that I'm trying to avoid you. You know, I'll make it obvious. I'm not gonna tell you that I don't fuck with you, because I don't know you shit, bro. I don't know you shit. I don't know you nothing. But, you know, I'll make it pretty damn obvious that, like, listen, bro, I'm going out of my way to avoid you, so just leave me the fuck alone. And that's the whole story. That is the whole story. AI2A says, bro, I just working out with you. Why are you hateful? I honestly don't give a fuck. I'm not going to do this little skit AI2A, so it's fine. AI2A wants to act like he's the gym bro, and then he wants me to role play with him right now. That's not happening. I'm not going to start role playing with AI2A and talking to him as if he's the gym bro. That would be the goofiest shit ever if I did that. All right. That would literally be the goofiest shit ever. I would officially be a goofy if I started talking to AI2A as if he was the actual gym dude. And if you are the actual gym dude, we just don't give a fuck, you know. Perfect goes, I'm the exact same way, dude. It's hilarious. Demon time. Demon time. Demon time. It's not even demon time. I'm chill at the gym. I'm chill at the gym, you know? Like, for example, I actually had one of my old homies come up to me today at the gym. You know, day one homie. Haven't seen him in years. Fucking the slightest. I saw him from out of the corner of my eye, bro. I could see a day one homie from a mile away, you know? So I saw a day one homie at the gym today. He was walking up. You know, we talked for like 15 minutes in the middle of the workout. Like, it's fine. I could be on demon time, but if you my boy and you chill and you know on some zesty shit, bro, then, like, you know, it ain't nothing, you know? But yeah. Never knew you didn't want to work out with you. I thought you were busy. Bro, AI2A is hilarious. But yeah, that's the story of Jim Homie. Shout out to Jim Homie. I'm finna get canceled for speaking about Jim Homie. Drop the F word is crazy. Can't believe I dropped the F bomb. Yeah, Space goes, bro's timing his escape. I was literally timing my escape. I was literally timing it. I don't know, bro. This dude, I swear there's some other stalking maneuvers he got. He be pulling up to the gym all the time when I'm there. It's like, bro, get the fuck out of here. All right. To be honest, I went on such a tangent. I'm kind of over all the news. But let's watch this Moicano saying that the UFC Vegas 115 card was fucking shit. I already gave you guys my reaction to it. and then we went on a massive side note. But here it is. Here it is. And we haven't even touched on Jon Jones, so we'll get into Jon Jones right after this. Sorry, I need the hold up. Make sure you like the stream and subscribe, motherfuckers. All right, let's continue.
Point in your career?
Yes. I will become 37 years old, It's not that I don't want to fight upcomers, but the business is, I'm doing stuff outside too, YouTube, and I'm making money outside too. So the guy needs to be, at least has some hype, Because look, Chris Duncan, I took that fight because I was like a 2 fights kid. But he's not famous, nobody know him, These Apex cards, this Apex card was fucking shit. I don't listen to that. But you having Moicano as a main event in fucking Apex, you kidding me, And who is fucking Chris Duncan, brother? That fight doesn't add to my career, doesn't add to my YouTube, So I think it should be like a fight that I can promote, like Ortega, like Paddy Pimblett, like Dan Hooker, maybe Benoit Saint-Denis, maybe somebody, somebody that the fans know. That's what I'm saying, There is a lot of guys that are very good, but nobody know them. And it's not, and everybody can win and everybody can lose. It's not about winning and losing. It's about to get the most hype, people talking about you, because this is the business.
Older veteran.
Yeah, so, Renato said it well, and I already gave you guys my reaction to it. But once again, he's not famous. Nobody knows him. Today, this Apex card was fucking shit. You have Moicano as the fucking main event in Apex. Are you kidding me? He's right. He's right. I know he's not a big star, but he's right. That post-fight Octagon interview, he's right. And who is fucking Chris Duncan, brother? That fight doesn't add to my career, doesn't add to my YouTube. He's right. He's right. And that's why I get on fighters like Chris Duncan, because this is how other guys see it. Guys who are checking all these boxes, they look at guys like Chris Duncan and they're like, no, I don't want to fight a guy like you. I'm the one doing everything right. You got a lot of work to do. You don't get this opportunity yet. And then it's like, yeah, I also put Sean Brady in a boat like this, because Sean Brady, he just fights. And yeah, he might have gotten a bit more hype than other people and he beat better names, right? But still, at the core of Sean Brady, who the fuck is he, right? He doesn't add to your career and all these other things. So, Moicano, right? UFC Vegas 115 was fucking shit, but the card was good. Okay, the card turned out to be good. The problem is they had no names on there worth getting people to tune in. If you're an average person, and Dana always says, my goal is I'm competing with going out on a Saturday night, right? Let's use Dana's words against him. I'm competing with everybody who got something to do on a Saturday night. I'm competing with all the bars. I'm competing with all the other sports on a Saturday evening. I'm competing with anything you can do on a Saturday evening, dinners. You feel me? Girlfriends. I'm competing with all you people. You know what I mean? The homies. You got a homie who watches the fights, right? Dana's competing with his homies who are trying to get him to go out. This was a night where the homies got the homie who sits home every fucking night to watch UFC, every Saturday night to watch UFC. This was the weekend that homie got convinced by his friends, okay, fine, I'll skip this card. I'll go out. You understand? That's why UFC Vegas 115 was fucking shit. Yes, the card turned out to be good, but only the most hardcore of the most hardcore only are the ones who watched it. So you're doing these guys a disservice too. It turned out to be a good card, but you didn't even prop up any good names on there, right? To get anybody to tune in and see these great fights that played out. Does that make sense? Yeah, we had great fights play out. No cap on that. It was good even despite the no names. But here's the problem with putting no names up in there, even in the main event, is that all these no names who had great performances got completely overshadowed because everybody went out on Saturday night to go hit on some bitches instead. And can you blame them? Can you blame them? Because for the last 6 weeks, they told their homie, nah, homie, I'm sticking home. I'm going to watch this fight. You know, I'm going to watch this fight. Patty's going to beat Gaethje, so to speak, right? And then, like, none of this shit happens. And now it's like after 6 weeks, they're like, all right, homie, I'm finna go out. This UFC sucks now. You know, Patty lost to Gaethje. You know, Armand getting honey dicked left and right. Now we got Chris Duncan in the main event. You know, Oliveira grapple fucked Max Holloway. I could have gone out that night too. You know, I wasted my time on that one. Could have caught the replay on that one. Wouldn't have missed shit. So it's a disservice and it's a disrespect to these other no-name guys who are trying to be up-and-comers, but are going to be kept in this no-name boat because the card is so shit that nobody new tuned in to watch it. Not even half the hardcores tuned in to watch it because they've been overdue. They've been overdue. They finally went out this Saturday. Hopefully they got some puss too while they were at it. You know, hopefully they did. Franklin goes, St. Denis call out, that's hard. It is hard. Franklin goes, couldn't believe that line. Buckley, huge dog, the fuck? Is Buckley a huge underdog against what's his name? Sean Brady? I haven't even seen the odds of that. What is Joaquin as hold on. I'm tripping. My brain be moving too fast sometimes for my fucking voice. You know what I thought today about myself? More inner dialogue from me, I guess. Sean Brady minus 215, Buckley plus 164. Damn, put the house on Buck, boys. I didn't even know Buck at plus 264. Put the fucking house on Buck. Nah, what I thought about myself today is I always hear Charles Oliveira speaking Portuguese, and I'm like, homie speaks so fast, it's insane. And I just kind of realized that the way I speak, I might be the equivalent of Charles Oliveira in English. Like, I realize I speak pretty damn fast. And, like, if you didn't speak English, you'd be like, what did you just say? And I really have to slow it down. I kind of blend the words together, too. I don't know if it's laziness or what, but I noticed. I feel like I'm saying all that to say I feel like, you know, my English is, like, fast on the level of how fast Charles Oliveira speaks fucking Portuguese. Not all the time for me, but sometimes I just be fucking speaking super fucking fast, and it's insane. And I feel like if you didn't speak English, you'd be like, what the fuck? And rightfully so. Buck losing, Cumshot losing, Ulberg losing. Okay, America first. America first says I watched it and was surprisingly entertained. Me too. A2A says main event Ankalaev versus Jiri, co-main Umar versus O'Malley. UFC hire me already. Well, Ankalaev Jiri is fighting Ulberg this weekend, so we'll speak about that later. Spacey goes, yeah. Spacey goes, deaf hardcore fans had to arrive late to work for that shit. Yeah, Tyler Betts goes, yeah, I caught the prelims in the Tommy fight, then went out and threw the Moicano fight on my phone at the bar. Exactly. He will go in as a buck, come out as 99 cents. Stop it, America first. Stop it now. AI2A says buck winning, Comgoat winning. Shout out to AI2A. Unbroken goes, maybe a speech impediment. Honestly, I don't think I have a speech impediment. You guys think I got a speech impediment? What the fuck, Unbroken? I don't think I got a speech impediment. I think I honestly just suffer from like not really giving too many fucks about it. I probably could focus more on it, but it's just like I like it the way I run it. You know, I like it the way I run it, just to be honest, you know. I wouldn't want it to be different. I kind of like to lean into it and embrace it a bit more, you know. Space Kid says, not sure if I want to bet on a buck fight anymore. Damn, homie. I think you should drop the bag on Joaquin to beat Sean Brady, to be honest, but it's up to you. Unbroken goes, I'm just brainstorming. Shout out Unbroken. You always brainstorming, homie. It's all good. Shout out Andrew Nance dropping the Sean Strickland emojis and the haha. Homie don't even know what I said a few minutes ago, I don't think. The cancel word I just said a few moments ago, that was crazy, wasn't it? Can't believe myself. I caught myself slipping on Easter Sunday. Is crazy. Zim, what's poppin', Jim? Or Zim, what's poppin', Jim? Zim, what's poppin', homie? Okay, so now if you want a 34-minute video on Jon Jones, you know, road rage incident, walking up on some, you know, kid, you're not going to get it here. You know, you're not going to get a 34-minute video of a bunch of random shit. But I mean, you know, we'll take a look. And I only say that because somebody commented and they said, Guru about to drop a 34-minute video on this. It's like, I'd love to know how you turn this into a 34-minute conversation. You know, I feel like I'm one of the masters of taking like the smallest things and turning it into like an hour-long conversation. And like we've seen it several times, you know, even look at the clips, like a lot of the videos I clip off, like I'll be speaking about something and it takes like 30 minutes for me to like, it's a 30-minute video about something that would probably be 10 minutes. So I just dying to know, like if Guru does drop a 34-minute video on this, it's like, what the fuck is he going to talk about? You know, power to him if he can, but it's like, I just don't see the angle. 34 minutes, you know, without being disingenuous, that would be my challenge, right? 34 minutes without being disingenuous, I think that's a pretty hard thing to do. Anyway, here's the story. Yeah, Juice's F-bomb on Easter is crazy. I'm going to have to say a prayer before bed, Jew. If Buck can stop at least a few takedowns, he could KO Brady. Bro, he's going to KO Brady. You guys need to get that through your heads now. He's going to beat the dog shit out that dude. Brady going to be so mad that he lost to Joaquin too. Just because he puts himself on such a pedestal. I'm talking about Brady. You know? Can't wait. Jones is the type of guy to piss in a bottle in someone else's car. Okay, so let's go through this story. Jon Jones was involved in a road rage incident in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and appears to be concealing a gun when walking up on a driver. Here's a quote from the quick video, but the driver said to Jon, you know, when Jon pulled up on him in his truck, the driver goes, "What you trying to get into?" Homie hit Jon with the "what you trying to get into" while he was arguably carrying. All right, we don't know for sure, but, you know, it's arguable that he was carrying. Hand in the pocket. It is the weak left hand, not the strong right hand, but still nonetheless, okay, even if he faking, like I said earlier, he got his hand in his pocket, so don't blame me for questioning it. That's probably what you wanted us to think anyway. And the driver you pulled up on as well. So, you know, the driver is the one who said it, not me. Once again, you know, anyone want to get on me for calling out Jon Jones for potentially carrying. The driver said it, not me. It's in the caption of the video. We're going to play it right now. But take a look at Jon Jones pulling up on homie in his hometown of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
What, bro? Trying to get into? You're almost fucking hitting me, bro.
You gotta calm down, bro.
Yeah, bro, you gotta learn how to drive, bro. You
gotta relax yourself, bro.
You're almost hitting me with your truck, bro. You're almost hitting me, bro. What the fuck? In my fucking lane and shit, bro. Come on. What, bro? Trying to get in.
So I'm having a new thought right now, which is that, like, I don't get why these dudes, like, even, I mean, I don't get it. Maybe this car guy thought he was tough and he was banking that you had like some like 5'8" dude in this truck or something. I don't know. But it's like you in this small ass car, you know, you were honking the horn and shit like that at the truck. It's like, I don't know. I don't see how this is like a winnable situation. Like, what do these car guys do this for? I always thought this was the weirdest thing. Being aggressive in your cars. I'm sure we got a couple car guys in the chat. Maybe you could explain it to me. John turned down the fade. John definitely turned down the fade. Homie asked him what he trying to get into. John didn't want it. No, but for real, it's like, I don't get the aggression in cars, bro. I just don't. Just don't. You're going to allegedly, I mean, let's just go to what Jon Jones said, okay? But real quick, this is what homie wrote. Driving up Central close to Eubank when I was almost hit 3 times by the truck, even after I revved my car at him the first time it almost happened, he still almost hit me twice after that, so I flipped him off. Then he proceeded to stop in the middle of the road, back up, and come into the same parking lot. The night before, another guy in a truck pulled out in front of me, so this was pretty annoying considering it was the second time a guy in a truck can't drive. I guess those are ABQ drivers for you. Stay safe. By the way, I know it's Jon Jones. I didn't know who it was when I flipped him off, but definitely realized who it was quick. No hate or hard feelings towards my guy, John, but I think he might need to take some driving classes because he almost hit me multiple times. Hopefully soon I make another video where we can maybe shake hands and quote-unquote squash the beef, LOL. Now, my biggest takeaway is like, how do I say this? I've seen so many videos of car guys doing this type of thing, acting super hard, super tough in their car, and then they get pulled up on, so because like this is what car guys do, right? Forgive me, but it's like this is what car guys do. They're in their little whip. It's usually a little whip, right? Car guys aren't truck guys. They're little whip guys. So these car guys, they're in their little whip. And like you do anything, right? Let's say you cut them off or, you know, it's always something with them. He almost hit me. These car guys are just, to be honest, a little bit toxic. You know, they're a little bit toxic. It's like, there's always something. You almost hit me. You're not following the rules of the road. But these car guys got like 1,000,001 rules of the road that nobody else follows. You know, that's the problem. These car guys got 1,000,001 rules of the road that no one else fucking follows. Like, no one knows you're supposed to be in the front, buddy, because you got an exhaust on your car, all right? Forgive me. I'm just fucking driving, not worried about you and your fucking car aesthetic, thinking that you're better than me, so I got to make sure you go in front. Let me slow down for this fucking low rider. No one gives a fuck about you, to be honest. You know, I just got to say that because they'll always have something to say. You know, this one's saying John almost hit me. I've heard other stories. He cut me off, so now I got to get it back in blood. And then as soon as the guy pulls up on him and steps out the car and really talks some shit to him, right? It's like, what, bro? What? You almost hit me, bro. You almost hit me, bro. What you trying to get into? What, bro? You almost hit me. It's like, dude, you guys, like, if you, like, you acting so tough, why not just run the fade? Why not just run the fucking fade? You know, arguably you probably pissed this dude off because you trying to be in the front of the fucking road all the fucking time. Weaving in between cars, always want to be front at the stoplight and goofy ass shit like that. Nobody gives a fuck. Especially if you're like, if you've been driving your car for 2+ years, okay, I mean, let's just call it like 3 years. If you are, because you get your license at 16 and a half, right? If you are 19 to 20 years old still driving like that, you goofy as hell, bro. You goofy as hell. Grow the fuck up already. Wanting to be first in front of every red light. It's the goofiest shit I ever heard of in my life. And half the time, that's why people be getting into the arguments with these guys, because they're trying to make sure they're first and they're cutting off another dude, right? It's just like, please, bro, shut the fuck up. So John actually issued a statement. Let me read it. But Jew goes, I revved my car at him. Like, the fuck is that going to do? Like, what are you thinking? You know, run the fade with Jones is crazy. Now I get it, but it's like at least be on some timing. Like, why is every car guy video I see like them getting confronted after starting it, and then what, bro? What, bro? Why you walking up to me, bro? You started it. You did it first. Okay. Jones 0 meta glasses 2. All right, AI2A, that's a good one. John is like a mob boss, takes no disrespect at all. Yeah, I do love it. I do love it. Yeah, he def gotta relax. Car guys are just crazy, bro. I see you guys. Car guys are always weenies. Car guys are tools, that's for sure. Car guys are gay. Revved my car at him is so gay. No, it's like you revved your car at him. Are you kidding me? This is what I mean when it's like we can't buy into these car guy narratives, boys. We gotta troll it at every step of the way. Like, imagine if we bought into this car guy's narrative that the revving of the engine is supposed to do anything. 10 out of 10 times when a car guy tells you he revved his engine at somebody, do not fucking buy into his narratives and please roast him. Okay? Please tell him that revving your car at somebody is gay as fuck and what the fuck is that supposed to do? Please tell him that. You revved your car at him. Oh my God, you revved your car at him. Homie, what was homie thinking? Walking up on you after you revved your car at him. Crazy. John turned down the fade was fucking hilarious, Tony Sal. It was really it was a good one. It was a good one. All right, so John issued a statement today. Here's what John said. You know, this kid proceeded to chase my car down for 2 blocks, revving his engine and trying to intimidate me. I'm glad this happened to me and not one of the senior citizens in our community. I'm proud of myself for standing up for myself and not allowing that kind of bullying or intimidation. Honestly, bro, I'm rounding out to be on John's side. Knowing how these car guys are, you know, I'm telling you, this is how they are. They're so tit for tat on the road. And it's like, bro, being tit for tat with a vehicle, with a motor vehicle is crazy. You know, being tit for tat with a motor vehicle is crazy in its own right, right? Of all times, you know, you should be the most passive, the most forgiving, right? When you're operating a fucking motor vehicle. That's not the time to be tit for tat unless you want to just total your shit within the first 3 months of getting it every damn time. You know? But it's true, you know, they so tit for tat. You know, you almost hit me. Now I got to get it even on you. No, you don't, bro. You're operating a fucking motor vehicle. In fact, it's probably the best time to be passive. Of all the opportunities in life, that's the best time to be passive. If someone cuts you off when you're walking around in public or someone talks some shit to you in public, you don't got to be passive, homie. You're not operating a motor vehicle, you know? But it's like being tit for tat in a motor vehicle is actually kind of crazy. And again, that's why, like, I'll shoot you the bail. Like, you a 16-and-a-half-year-old kid, 17, you know, 18 years old, still acting like a douchebag. Like, I get it. It's cool. You know, I was a douchebag when I was that age too. But you better grow up, you know, once you're about 18, 19 years old. I don't want to hear no bullshit. And, you know, I mean that. I don't hate you if you are going to be on some bullshit, right? I might not ride in the fucking car with you. Definitely won't be riding in the damn car with you. I reserve the right for that. But it's like, I won't hate you, but just know that I think you on some bullshit. You know, you ain't the only one in the road, motherfucker. I don't care if you got an exhaust and your car is lowered. Don't care. I thought you were a car guy. No, I'm like the least car guy. I got a Mustang GT and I'm like the least car guy ever. I never did one thing to that car. The only thing I did was cut off the mufflers and just put some tips on it. I think it's called a muffler delete. They literally just sawed off the mufflers, and then I picked like little fancy tips, just some silver tips, and he welded the tips on to where he cut off the muffler. So it's you know, straight piped, but you got the cats and resonators, if that makes sense. But I say straight pipe just because it's like, you know, the exhaust is like no muffler. It's called a muffler delete. That's all I ever did to it. It cost me like $150. Same type of kids that try to start a fight and then say you're going to hit a kid right when you're about to beat their ass. Exactly. Exactly, Tyler Betts. It's pretty weak. Franklin goes, car guy revving car sounds fucking hilarious. It is. What year is the car? It's a 2008 AI2A. 2008. 2008 Mustang GT. He wants to race him to the male strip club. That's going to be in Guru's video for sure. That's why I said, if Guru can make a 34-minute video without any gay jokes, I'll be impressed. But something tells me he's going to have a lot of gay jokes in there. Which is fine. But again, that's not, I don't got the gay jokes for you, you know. Elo reminds of the bikers from South Park. Damn, I need to see that episode. Tyler Betts, you know the name of that episode? I'll just look it up. But that sounds like a fire ass South Park episode where they troll the bikers. That's too good. That's a nice car. Well, thank you, AI2A. It's I mean, I guess now in the big 26, it's kind of like a humble, modest car. It still looks pretty good though. Still looks pretty like modern, but it is an '08. But when I got that bitch when I was in high school, I was stoked on it. I was stoked on it for sure. I had the same car ever since. All right. So let's go over this card real quick. I'm just gonna kind of speed run through it. All right, let's speed run through it. And then I'll see what else I got for you boys. But I mean, wait, before I even get started, I hear Trayshawn Gore's on a 3-fight win streak with 3 guillotines. Oh, that's not true. Not true at all. He just got 3 guillotines in the UFC. He snapped a 2-fight losing streak. Okay. Good thing I double checked that. AI2A says, did you ever buy a Honda? No, I never bought a Honda, homie. Never bought a Honda. When my mom moved to Hawaii, she gave me her fuel economic car. It's a Toyota Camry. So I got my mom's Toyota Camry and I got a Mustang. I got 2 whips. Shit, call me rich. Call me rich. I got 2 whips. I got a fuel economy and I got a fucking, you know, V8. Best of both worlds. Tyler Betts, I can't repeat the word because I already fucking said it once. But shout out to Tyler Betts. Shout out to Betts goes, they changed the dictionary definition of FAG to a biker who revs his engine obnoxiously, LOL. Shout out to Tyler Betts. Space goes, bro, the fuel cars are the best. I got a hybrid. Yeah, definitely. Space Kid, definitely. I fuck with the Camry like more than you guys even know. I be driving around the Camry all the fucking time, more than the Mustang. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird one because that's a narrative people say about like nice cars though. When someone gets like a nicer car, it's like they never drive it, especially if they got like a second car. So for me, it's like, yeah, I got a nicer car in the Mustang GT. So I just be, you know, I take the Toyota Camry to the beach. I take it like, you know, I take it farther places, obviously, because it's better fuel economy. But like, it's kind of like my beater car, you know? So I beat up the Toyota Camry. And then let's say, you know, I go to a nice dinner on my birthday. I'm taking the Mustang. I drive to the gym. You know, I want to, you know, rev the engine a little bit, fire up the testosterone before the gym. We taking the Mustang. You feel me? But I'm going to the grocery store to pick up some groceries. Let's just take the Camry, right? God forbid some fucking chicken juices leak in the car. Let that shit leak in the Camry. You know, we not even tripping on that. Leaks in the Mustang, we got a whole nother problem. So, yeah, I fuck with the fuel economy cars for sure. I like having the best of both worlds. Oh, AI2A says, what color is the Mustang? It's red. What year is the cam? Homie, what the fuck are all these questions? You're starting to make me sus. You're putting it into a Google spreadsheet as we speak. Tyler Betts says, I got a Honda Civic Hybrid. Yeah, fire me up. Fire me up. Fuel economy, top notch. And, you know, the cool thing is the newer cars, the newer fuel economic cars, they're pretty, you know, they look pretty decent as well. For me, you know, I got a beater in the Toyota Camry. It's older. I'll just tell you guys the year. It's like a 2012, I think. Okay, so Kai Kamaka, right? Second stint with the UFC, makes good on his return against Dakota Hope, training out of Houston, Joshua Vance's teammate. You know, we'll see what homie can do. He young in the game. The UFC signing guys who don't even belong here anyway. So, you know, we'll see him when we see him. But that was his debut, so he's now 0-1. Okay, Diony Barbosa, congratulations. You won a decision. Trayshawn Gore, guillotine choke over Asmat Bekaev. I mean, this was a big one, right? 5-4 before this fight. Bekaev 19-5. Undefeated in the UFC. Or, no, he got 2 losses. He was coming off a loss to Yusri Belgari. That's right. Yusri beat his ass in October. And, he didn't return any better against Tresean Gore. That loss to Yusri really did some damage on him. But, he came into the UFC 17-3. After the loss to Tresean Gore, he's now 20-5. We'll see where Asmat can go, but something tells me his spirit's been killed, especially after a second loss to a 5-4 Tresean Gore. You know what I mean? Just expect for this dude's spirit to be killed. How old is Bekaev? 30 years old. We'll see where he goes from here. We'll see where he goes from here. Alice Pereira, the young Brazilian upstart, sorry. She looks more Mexican than Brazilian. Anyway, the young Brazilian upstart, 19 years old. Beautiful knee knockout on Haley Cowan. Sorry, 20 years old. Born in 2005. Good win. Good win. Darius Flowers, Lando Venata, didn't watch it. Alessandro Costa, Stuart Nicolai. Left hook to the liver. 1 of 2 left hook to the liver knockouts on the night. Alessandro Costa, that's good shit. That's elite level. I'd like to see what else he can do. What's his record in the UFC? 3-3, so not looking too good. Not looking too good, but we'll see. 3 losses are to Alden Correa, Steve Erceg, Amir Albazi. He's beat Jimmy Flick, Kevin Borjas, and Stuart Nicolai. So we'll see. I guess, this might have just been one of those, not worth ever really knowing either of these guys, but it was a good finish. One of those fights. Thomas Peterson, Guilherme Pat, don't give a fuck. Didn't watch it. Jose Delano, Robert Rucala, don't give a fuck. Didn't watch it. Sorry, I know that's the main card opener, but I just didn't watch it. I was chopping it up with the chat. Much more entertaining. Tommy McMillan, Manolo Zaccini. So here's what I got to say about this one. Tommy, he gets the knockout in the first round. He starts the fight off fairly sloppy. Okay. Could be octagon jitters. I don't know what it is, right? It was his debut, obviously, coming off a win off Contender Series, getting a contract, finally makes the debut. Just a little bit of awkwardness, a little bit of, leaning too much over the front foot when he's punching. But about midway through the round, homie locked back in, started finding that jab, started being a bit more patient, started doing more single shots versus bigger combos and just jumping into these flying knees from the middle of the octagon. He became a bit more disciplined, a bit more like I want to make it seem like he was he started like shortening his shots more. It wasn't this big winging, winding shit anymore and this big jumping knee from out front. It was like he calmed down and he started locking in, shortened up the shots a little bit, and just started firing on dude. Starting with the jab, though. He found the jab, and it was over from there. Landed a nice body kick. I think he backed Zaccini up against the cage, landed a nice knee, found the finish shortly after that. But, second half of that round was good shit by Tommy McMillan. The first half of that round, I was like, ugh. He looking really sloppy, and you're supposed to be, looking world class against a guy like Zaccini. Oh my God, Zaccini, McMillan. I mean, we got some names, boys. Anyways, I fuck with Tommy McMillan. Dude is cool. Dude got a good finish. Not much more to say. We got to see what he can do against a real prospect, though, a real contender. Because, like I said, he should have actually looked a bit more elite against Manolo Zaccini. That's fine, But, Manolo Zaccini is one of those guys where you get a 10-second knockout on. Because he's just so technically not there that you should have all these openings that you see that you could take at a snap of a finger. That's my opinion. And you could say, oh, your standard is way too high. But whatever, bro. Whatever. I'll be the guy with the too high of a standard versus having too low of a standard. At least with too high of a standard, right? Like, who else has too high of a standard? Fucking fathers of pro athletes. So I'm going to keep my high standard. That's too high. You can't impress me. You feel me? That's going to evolve shit a lot quicker than this fucking opposite approach. Juice says, fuck, was that Drake quote though? Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what you're even saying, Gio. Are you saying that Tommy McMillan dropped a Drake quote in his Octagon interview or something, or he's just out here quoting Drake? That would be pretty fucking goofy if he's out here quoting Drake in the Big 26. Okay, so good shit to Tommy McMillan, though. Tyler Betts says he's trying to copy O'Malley's gestures and swag too much, though. I know. You can tell he looks up to him like a ton. He's a carbon copy of O'Malley. Let's be real, Tyler Betts. You know, O'Malley probably low-key annoyed, but he flattered at the same time. Juice says Tommy quoted Drake, LOL. That's gay as fuck. What did he say? The fuck did he say? Tommy, I don't know. I wonder if he's like really a nerd at heart who's kind of just cool now because he's a fighter. Be careful with him. You know, shoot him some bail. If he's quoting Drake, just understand that he's probably, you know, he probably used to be a nerd and he's only cool now because he fights and, you know, carbon copy of O'Malley. All you unbelievers, underachievers make me sick to my stomach quote. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, we'll leave it alone. Shout out to Drew. Thank you for letting me know that though. Okay, so 2 prospects in a row. You know, Ethan Ewing, he was up next after Tommy McMillan's win. This whole Tommy McMillan, so tough for me to say. Anyway, Ethan Ewing, another prospect, taking another dude's O. 2-0 in the UFC, taking 2 dudes' O's. Took a short notice fight against Malcolm Wellmaker last year, towards the end of the year. Upset, beat him. Wellmaker was acting like that fight was a foregone conclusion, that the UFC would, he even admitted such, that the UFC was giving him a toss-up, you know, setting up Ethan Ewing to take an L to their new undefeated golden boy, Malcolm Wellmaker. Fuck no, that wasn't the case, because Ethan Ewing stepped in that cage and he, you know, he showed he got more dog than Malcolm Wellmaker, right? He took the dog out of Malcolm Wellmaker. Fucking Wellmaker, I can't believe he was walking into that fight, though, thinking it was a foregone conclusion. Don't ever make that mistake again. Side note. Okay, back to it, though. Octagon return after a short notice debut, making good on it against an undefeated prospect, okay, who's knocking everybody out in his UFC stand up to that point in Wellmaker. Homie returns against Rafael Estevam, 14-0. Undefeated in the UFC, I believe 3-0 in the UFC. He was 3-0 in the UFC at that time. Same with Malcolm Wellmaker, I believe. Okay. Homie gets another, the 2 of 2, the second left hook to the liver, body shot knockout on the night. That's why this card was pretty fucking good. You know, it was pretty good. Problem is new people weren't watching it. Only the hardcores were. But, you know, left hook to the liver, round 3, cooked homie, finished him in the 3rd with a liver shot. Too good. Too good. We fuck with Ethan Ewing. Ethan Ewing is the truth. This is the type of guy you push to the top quickly. You know, not Chris Duncan. No offense to Chris Duncan. But shit, homie, if you get an opportunity prematurely, you're going to get the shade. It just is what it is, bro. You're definitely not going to get glazed for getting that main event slot. I don't know in what world you ever thought that would be the case. You know, you probably did think that was the case, but that's okay. It's just so much wrong with that. If Chris Duncan thought that people were supposed to be happy for him getting the main event, there's so much wrong with that thought alone. He should have been like, oh, damn, people going to be mad. He should have thought that more than anything else. So Ethan Ewing, he got great boxing, stuffed every single takedown Rafael Estevam shot through 3 rounds, and kept it standing, beat the dog shit out of him. That's all I can really say. You know, even going back to that Wellmaker fight, though. Wellmaker tried taking him down in that fight. You know what he did? He hit him back with the same fucking takedown pretty much. Took his ass down. Wellmaker tried hitting an inside trip on Ethan Ewing in their fight, and Ethan fucking took his ass down. Reversed that shit in that same exchange. So, you know, we fuck with Ethan. Superb takedown defense. Great elite striking. Homie beat the shit out of Malcolm Wellmaker. We all know how deep Malcolm Wellmaker was in everybody's throat. Okay, we all know it. Okay, now Ethan Ewing gets all that. Okay, dude is the truth. Juice says bar for bar from a cringe Drake live from 2017. Yeah, disgusting. Disgusting. Can't believe it. But like I said about McMillan, you know, forgive him. I'm telling you guys, when I was on the wrestling team, okay, I'll never forget. The best guy on the team, I thought he was the coolest dude. And this is what I'm saying about fighting too, that people don't realize, because if they never competed in martial arts, you're never going to have this experience that I had. When I was in high school wrestling, I started off as a freshman. So I was always looking up to the varsity guys. We're separated by rooms, right? So varsity guys, they got their own practice. Freshman guys, we got our own practice. Sophomore year, you know, I got to go train in the varsity room, right? So when I'm training with all these varsity guys, I'm starting to get to know them, right? But let's take it back to freshman year. Me and all my freshman homies, you know, we'd be going home from wrestling practice. We'd be like, you know, so-and-so, he's so cool. You know, he a cool ass dude. He's so tough, right? He the best wrestler, right? We looking up to these dudes. Who the best wrestler on the team? One in particular. I'll just say his name, Ian Mishinok. Okay, Ian Mishinok was the best wrestler on the fucking team. Okay, we looked up to him. He's a good-looking dude, obviously. I mean, no diddy, but I'm just saying we thought he got girls. Like he's a good dude in good shape. You know, nothing wrong with him. We figured he got girls. Anyway, fast forward to sophomore year when we're when we're training with varsity, trying to compete for a varsity spot, so to speak, right? Also, JV and varsity, they kind of train together. So, once we start training with him, we all left practice after like the first week, and me and the freshman homies who made it into the varsity room, we're all kind of talking about, you know, practice, and we're like, bro, Mishinok's a nerd. Like, we didn't know Mishinok's a fucking nerd, bro. But it's like, you know, Mishinok had to be a nerd because in order to be that good at wrestling, what do you expect? You think this dude got the biggest budding social life in the world? You guys think this dude parties all the time? This dude is just focused on getting straight A's, eating good, sleeping good, and wrestling in the mornings. You know? Homie, you know, super religious and shit like that too. Like, he got the whole, you know, method unlocked. So that's why I say that, like, don't be surprised if Tommy McMillan is a bit of a nerd, right? Tommy McMillan, also a state champion in wrestling in high school. He could be cut from the same cloth as my homie, Ian Mishinok from high school wrestling. You know, you're the best wrestler on your team. You're probably a bit of a nerd. Just saying. Look at college wrestling. All those dudes are nerds. It's not a diss. What I'm just saying, the problem is when you're a nerd and you're trying to fit this image of a cool bad boy, right? That's where it starts to overlap. That's where we're going to start calling you out for fucking dropping Drake bars from 2017 in a live somewhere, right? Because if you're a nerd and you're trying to be this cool bad boy, we're going to be getting confused. And you're probably going to, you know, have a couple missteps along the way. So you meet Habib. No. Shout out Manny Maron. A2A says, Perry, control your hips. Why am I circling the chair or something like that? Gotta be foreign and fruity to get pushed in the UFC nowadays. Kind of true, Tyler Betts. In the UFC, it's like, fuck the American fighters. Everybody run up the likes on the stream one more time, please. Just a friendly reminder. You know, if you haven't liked the stream yet, just run up the likes on the stream, boys. We want 25 on the evening. You know, it's at 19 right now. We really want 25 on the evening. Okay, Abdul Rahman. He's way too big for featherweight too. Oh, the Sean O'Malley guy who fought yesterday is crazy good. He beats Volk Trust. Manny, you are tripping. Volk would kill him. Volk would kill him. Okay, Abdul Rahman, Yakyayev. I mean, to be honest with you guys, Brent's again, I feel like it was supposed to be like Abdul was supposed to really show out in this fight, and he didn't. The way he won this fight was by eating a massive head kick, flush on his fucking dome, catches it, takes Brenson Ribeiro down, takes his back and eventually chokes him out. But aside from that, you know, Brenson Ribeiro was like making the striking pretty ugly and awkward, and Yakyaev wasn't really looking, you know, super world class, if I could just keep it a buck. So, you know, he was a big favorite, minus 1400. I know he got a first round submission in 3 minutes, but trust me when I tell you guys, homie ate a flush kick to the dome, caught it, and got the takedown. So, like, how are you elite? Now, I know that everybody's going to get caught with the flush head kick to the dome, but Brenson Ribeiro is really doing that. I don't think DC was getting flush head kick by Brenson Ribeiro, okay, on his way to the title shot. You know, this dude minus 1400, you got to think that he's going to be some type of contender in the future with this type of odds. Undefeated 1400 favorite. I'm telling you, he did not look good on the feet. He looks fat for the division. He's probably an overgrown middleweight. Am I being rude to Yakyaev right now? 6'2", 205. I mean, he looked fat on the night. I'm sorry, guys, but he looked fat. In his picture, he looks better here. He did not look like this on the night. So, to keep it short and sweet, you know, I'm not that impressed with Yakyaev. Okay, let's just keep it a buck. I'm not impressed with this dude. Like I said, took a flush head kick to the dome, got the takedown, then got the sub. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. The striking for the whole fight was ugly until he got that takedown. The whole thing was ugly. There was nothing pretty about it, you know, on the likes of an Ethan Ewing, a Tommy McMillan, you know. Nothing good about it. Virna Jandiroba, Tabitha Ritchie. Congratulations, Virna. Did not watch this fight. Renato Moicano, Chris Duncan. Solid fight. You know, Moicano, he really showed that there's levels. He stood in front of Chris Duncan for the first couple minutes of the fight, threw no strikes, just stood right in front of him, and Chris Duncan couldn't do shit to him. Then Moicano said, okay, time to turn it up on this bitch. Time to get him up out of here. All right, and he got him up out of here in the second. But, yeah, what I would say about this fight is that exactly as I put it, Moicano showed that there's levels. Don't want to repeat everything I just said, but it's like Moicano showed that there's levels. And I really liked the fact that he was able to just stand in front of his opponent. You know, the first and the second round. Duncan could not do shit to him when Moicano was standing right in front of him, right? The only thing Moicano had to do was piece together some combos and hurt him at will. I was calling for that in the fight. And eventually he did get to that because he threw a 3-punch combo, left hook, right hand, left hook, and dropped his ass, set him down. So I fuck with it. I just really like it when a guy can stand in front of another dude and the other dude can't do shit to him. I think it takes a lot of the fight out of you when your opponent is standing directly in front of you. You're throwing strikes, right? And it's not doing nothing to them. They're not backing up. They're continuing to walk you down. You're continuing to back up. It's not hurting them. They're barely even landing, right? Because Moicano was slipping. He was pulling kicks. You know, he was doing a great job of making Chris Duncan miss, and he was also doing a great job of blocking Chris Duncan's shots. I'm telling you, once he pieced together that combo in the second round, it was all over with. He drops Duncan, and murder she wrote, you know, got the rear naked choke. So good shit on Moicano. Impressive win. He did what he was supposed to do. Right, Yakyaev couldn't do that to Ribeiro. I'm trying to compare some of this stuff to you guys. Ribeiro came out, right, and he was piecing up Yakyaev a little bit. Too much for my liking for a minus 1400 favorite. All right, Moicano was a plus 120 underdog. Duncan was a minus 145 favorite. You see the fucking difference? If you're a minus 1400 favorite, you better not be getting pieced up more than the plus 120 underdog in the main event. You better not be. You should be standing right in front of Brenson Ribeiro and fucking matrixing, fucking getting rid of, look at the fucking camera right now, boys. You're going to love it. You know what I mean? Getting rid of all these shots, fucking slipping and ripping. You feel me? Like, what the fuck's going on, Yakyaev? That's just what I got to say. I ain't here to glaze nobody. You either get the respect or you don't. And I didn't respect Yakyaev's performance. Not enough to co-sign. I respect it. Okay, don't get it twisted. But it wasn't enough to co-sign. Was not. Tommy, yes, and let's see what you could do. I got a little asterisk, but I'm co-signing you with a slight asterisk. Ethan, full cosign. Full fucking cosign. Abdul, no cosign whatsoever. You starting from scratch again. We got to see what you could do against the next guy. You know what I mean? No cosign. Renato Moicano, cosign. You know what I mean? No more no names for you, homie. Straight cosign. Trayshawn Gore, low-key cosign, bro. That's a low-key fucking cosign. You beat a 20-4 guy as a 5-4 dude. I mean, that's a cosign. Guillotine in the 3rd round with a minute and a half left. That's a cosign if I ever seen one. Didn't even watch the fight, to be honest with you, but I'll catch it back eventually. Okay, so, that is my breakdown of UFC Vegas 115, boys. And I did my picks, if you guys can see them here. I got 7 of 13 right. So, we did our thing. 7 of 13 right, 455 points, two perfect picks. Not bad. 2 perfect. Diony Barbosa, Tommy McMillan. Gore was a dog. I need to watch that fight, Tony. Shout out to James Pond. Niaz. Why you calling him Niaz? Niaz is killing me. Okay, so that's pretty much going to be the stream. Gore never gave up like AI2A. Shout out to AI2A. Let's watch this though real quick. Let's watch Ilia Topuria. This some new striking. Some pad work for Ilia ahead of his lightweight title unification bout against Justin Gaethje on June 14th. So let's check it out. Ilia, he good on the pads, but I do have some criticism. And I just feel like, shit, even if you disagree with me, at least I got the balls to criticize when everyone glazes content like this. I'm saying, Ilia looks good on the pads. I just got one criticism, and I'd love to hear what you guys got to say about it. It's that. It's that right there. Look how his fucking coach just drags the arm over his head. It's like, in my opinion, you're going to get Ilia knocked out eventually, bro. Make him really slip it. Am I missing something? I mean, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But it's like, watch him just lazily up and over his head. It's like it's like the firmament, bro. It's like the dome. I need you to cut it across his head. That's what I need from the cornerman. Boom. Slip it. Boom. We making you squat, homie. Boom. Slip that shit right under it. I don't want to see there's a huge difference between the two. Between boom, slip and boom, slip. Huge difference. And while this is good pad work, don't get me twisted here. Okay, while this is good pad work, all right, I just don't like look at the left hook that his boxing coach is throwing at him and making him, so to speak, slip or not slip. That's dog shit.
Thank goodness we have a little one.
Come, guys. Now, it's good pad work. Don't get it twisted. But it's like that. I feel like more people should be calling that out. But instead you get comments like that overhand right is going to sleep Justin calling it now. But it's like, what about Ilia Topuria is completely open for a left hook because his fucking boxing coach is not, keeping him defensively responsible by making him actually slip it. What about that? What about that? Shout out Andrew Nance dropping the Brandon fucking Moreno emoji. That's perfect timing, homie. That's straight perfect timing. Space Kid says 100. Okay, all right. It's like, this is why it's so important for me. I feel like my responsibility is to not just be an echo chamber of the comment sections. I read the comment sections, believe me, and I will repeat the comment section if I kind of agree with it. But when I don't agree with the comment section, there's no way I'm going to sit in front of this fucking camera / live stream and glaze up this pad work when there's a glaring mistake that I see in it. I don't mean any, like I always say, this is just from a passion of the game. This is no diss to anybody. It's just I'm passionate of the game. I think there's ways the game is supposed to be run, right? And one of them is by making your fighter fucking slip that left hook. Okay? For real. Slip the left hook for real. Not just throw it over his head and let him know it's coming. You need to make sure he's slipping it. Because yeah, that overhand right might knock out Gaethje, but if he don't slip that left hook coming, okay, Gaethje's left hook might knock his ass out too. I would have liked to see, a shorter fucking, you know what I mean? Not this. Not this. I would have liked to see boom. Okay? And okay. Wait. We're going to rewatch this video from scratch, but I need to go to something first. Because you guys hear me, right? About pad work? Okay, well then let's just go to the greatest boxer of all time. Let's go to the greatest boxer of all time. A video with 266,000 likes. Okay? This is real pad work. This is real shit. And I just want to say this just because, all right? Anyone who don't see the brilliance in this pad work I'm showing you, suck my fucking dick. Okay, suck my fucking dick. Okay, because I know a lot of people love to hate Floyd, but don't get it twisted. All right, you could never hate on his boxing skills. Never. Never. And sorry, I know there's somebody in here that loves me probably and hates Floyd, and I just told you to suck my dick. Shit. Just deal with it, okay? Let me have some fun here. It's just passion, baby. It's just passion. All right? But let's take a look at Floyd. I'm speaking about, Ilias, boxing coach, boom. I'm saying hit him with the boom. Boom, slip that bitch. Okay, let's see how Roger Mayweather does it. The GOAT. Roger and Floyd. Unc and nephew.
Bring that shit. Bring that smoke.
Bring that shit.
Bring that shit.
Take him out, Roger. Take him out, Roger. Take him out, Roger.
We're gonna watch this 10 times. Till I say we're done watching it. That's how long we're gonna watch it.
Bring that shit. Bring that smoke. Bring that shit.
Take him out, Roger. Take him out, Roger. Take him out, Roger.
The black mamba. Catch him. Bring that shit. Bring that smoke. Bring that shit.
Take him out, Roger. Take him out, Roger. Take him out, Roger.
The black mamba. Catch him. Bring that shit. Bring that smoke.
Manny, I love you, but flexing that Ilya would sleep a 50-year-old retired boxer is not the flex you think it is, homie. All right. Nobody gives a Ilya sleeps Floyd. It's more of that echo chamber of like the comment sections, that I'm just not into. Ilya sleeps Floyd round one. Who gives a fuck? Floyd is like 50 years old. Ilya levels above Floyd everywhere. Homie, it ain't the flex you think it is. It ain't the flex you think it is. One more time.
Bring that shit.
Take him out, Roger. Take him out, Roger. Take him out, Roger.
The black mamba. Catch him. Bring that shit. Bring that shit.
Manny says prime for prime. Well, then you just lost all marbles. You lost all the marbles that you had. No explanation either, Manny. You just lost all the marbles that you had. No explanation. You just lost all the marbles that you had. Tony says Ilya lost his marbles too. Now let's continue with this footage. Now that you see the contrast.
Thank goodness we have a little one. Again.
One more. Hey. One more. One more. Same thing. Again. Wait. You hit that one. You hit that one hard, huh? I hope he recorded it.
So yeah, shout out to Ilya. I mean, it's good pad work. It's just there's a glaring error, and that's the defensive, responsibility that his coach is not putting on him. But Space Kid with a great question. That's a great question, homie. Thanks for that question. Who's some of your inspirations? Well, I can give you a lot of my inspirations. I got quite a few, but I would say inspirations are Conor McGregor was an inspiration of mine. We also got the same birthday, so kind of crazy. That just made it that was like a cherry on top. I already fucked with him. Then like me and homie got the same birthday. I really fuck with him. So Conor, he was big during my come up too. I just graduated from high school and Conor was coming up. So not during my come up, but you get it. Conor was coming up. I just graduated from high school. Super influential time in my life, right? So Conor, big one for me. Nick Diaz, big inspiration. I told you guys. It seems like I hate on Nick because I say Nate's better than him. Shit, I'm just keeping it a buck, boys. And just because I think Nate's better than Nick, it doesn't mean that Nick wasn't one of my biggest inspirations in life. In fucking life. Floyd Mayweather might be my biggest inspiration in life, if I'm just being honest. I've seen every single 24/7 and all access episode you can watch. I've seen every single one. I didn't have an HBO or a Showtime subscription, but all the free ones that exist on the internet, I've seen every episode. Usually for one of the fights, there would be a 5-part series. So I've watched almost all of them, almost all of them. The only ones I haven't really watched are the one for Juan Manuel Marquez and shit like that. But I'd say those are my top inspirations. Mike Tyson, definitely an inspiration a little bit. I read his book. So Mike Tyson was an inspiration. Joaquin Buckley is a more modern inspiration, I would say. Homie definitely inspires me. A lot of the shit I do, on the daily. Not that it all has to do with him. That would sound weird. But it's let me put it like this. In the mornings, I run push-ups, pull-ups, squats. That's been influenced by Joaquin, right? Joaquin told me one time in an interview, this my routine kind of thing. This is my workout routine, my morning routine during fight camp. I wake up, before I do anything, I run push-ups, pull-ups, squats. So that influenced me, bro. I went ahead and I started copying that shit too, Habib was an inspiration for me too back in the day. AI2A says, so that's why Perry doesn't like Habib. That's why AI2A is just a walking L, because I like McGregor don't mean I dislike Habib. Yeah, Habib kind of a clown these days, but Habib was a big inspiration for me. When Conor McGregor fell off and Habib was the one taking over the lightweight division, Habib is who I looked up to. Him doing the sprints with all of his homies and shit like that. I went and did that shit too. That's how I kind of judge if you're an inspiration of mine. If you're an inspiration of mine, I copied your shit in my real life. So many days I remember copying Floyd Mayweather workouts in my room, shadow boxing, doing sit-ups, jumping rope. That was all influenced by Floyd Mayweather when I was younger. Conor McGregor and the flexibility and the movement, total influence in my life, stretching every day, things of this nature. So Habib, I used to see him running sprints with his teammates before fights. So I'd go out in the field by myself, run sprints. You feel me? I used to see Nick Diaz running 3 miles at a time. Shit, I'm finna go run 3 miles. I'm finna go run 5 miles. So Yeah, that's how I judge inspirations. Is like I actually model my life by them. You know, I did a lot of the things they do. And then this will make sense too because of what I chose to do, right? But look at how much I take inspirations. People are gonna hate on me for the second inspiration. I'll say the name second. But my two biggest influences or inspirations when it comes to like podcasting are DJ Vlad and Adam 22. You know, DJ Vlad, Adam 22. And look at my content, look at my page. Does it not look like a mix of Adam 22 and DJ Vlad? You know? Look at my posting style. I took it right off No Jumper. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Took the posting style right off No Jumper. You know, the meme style posting. Took it right off No Jumper. When you look at my YouTube, you're going to see, you know, so you're going to see that I post my interviews just like DJ Vlad, right? You know, a whole playlist. Joaquin Buckley, February 2026, even to the how I title the playlist. This is how Vlad titles his playlist, you know? But I clip up everything from the interview, right? Members only, right? Members get the full interview first. Regular subscribers get the clips first. I mean, where the fuck do you guys think all this inspiration comes from? Vlad, Adam 22, you know, Nick Diaz, Joaquin Buckley, Habib, Connor, Nate Diaz, BJ Penn, even Floyd Mayweather. These my inspirations in life, boys. So yeah, thank you again, Space Kid, for that question. That was a solid top tier ass question, homie. That's a top tier question for damn sure. But you know, it's not all carbon copy, right? Vlad doesn't do live streams like how I do it. Adam doesn't do live streams like or Adam does some solo streams, but you know, I really do all solo streams. You know, starting a podcast with MTK, inspired by Adam 22, No Jumper Show, the Perry Punch Show. I mean, I don't mean to be giving up all the game right now, but it's like, you know, you guys should see it. Influence is a big part of life, and who inspires you, bro? That's fire. Shout out to Space Kid. Yeah, it is a big part of life for sure. And you got to know, you know, who are the right people to look up to. So many people look up to the wrong people, right? It's very sad to see all the people who look up to a guy like Wes Watson and pay for his courses and pay for information, and homie just scamming your bitch ass, you know? So yeah, inspiration is a big part of life, but make sure, you know, your inspirations are for the right reasons. And, you know, it shouldn't necessarily be, if you got to pay your inspiration to fucking learn from them, they probably shouldn't be your inspiration. You know, all my inspirations, they put that info out for free, and it was up to me to soak it in or something like that, to take it in, to observe. I don't know how you say it. Anyway, boys, that's going to be the stream of the evening, I think. That is going to be the stream. Shout out to everybody watching, though. We basically were just kicking it with 30 people in here the whole time. Actually, like 36. I'm looking at the stats now. Yeah, we had about 37 in here at one point in time. 38 looks like it was the peak. Shout out to all you boys watching on Easter Sunday. I don't know if any other MMA streamers went live today, but shit. If I'm the only one who did, you boys are welcome. You know, make sure you tap in every day. I'm live for 90 days straight. We've been live for like 40, so shit, help me end the 90-day live stream streak strong with big views, you know, for the last like 45 days or so. You know, I'm immune to burnout. So respect the hustle. And yeah, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Once again, like the stream if you haven't liked the stream yet. We want 25 likes on the evening. AI2A says, my idol is a painter. I'm such a loser. I hate myself. Well, AI2A, Says Brandon, I like you so much, I'm staying up. Antoy says Conor McGregor, Nick Diaz, Mayweather. Wow, no hate, but wow. AI2 is fucking bipolar. He hates, then he like loves me, then he hates again, then he tells me he hates himself. It's like, oh my gosh. Who say ah? Space Kid says ah every time I fucking announce that the stream's ending. Cause homie loves it. And I appreciate it. I love it too. You know. Shout out to all the boys who enjoy watching me every night. Definitely makes me happy to know that, boys. I gotta let you know that. I be trying to bring the energy. I be trying to bring the, you know, the hot takes for you boys. So hopefully you enjoyed it. He hates that he loves you. LOL. Yeah, he hates it. AI2A hates that he loves me. It's okay. It's all right, AI2A. It's probably because AI2A trying to make sense in his head. He's like, I really shouldn't like this guy, but why the fuck I like him? It's like AI2A. It's just how it is sometimes, homie. It's just how it is sometimes. All right, but I think it's time for me to get off. I'm finna go eat my sweet potatoes and shit like that. I want to say thank you to give me 20 burpees. Nah, homie, nah. I'll give you some shit. Tune in tomorrow. Maybe I'll give you some push-ups tomorrow. I brought this jacket. I was gonna put it on, never did. Yeah, I'm finna go eat like a sweet potato now and just chill. But all right, shout out, boys. I'm gonna shout out the streets, then get out of here. I want to say though, if I didn't already say it, thank you to Tuxedo Mask and thank you to Franklin for the donos. Oh, here's what I was gonna do. So if you in the stream right now, I'm gonna gift out 5 membies. I forgot to do this. So I'm gonna gift out 5 membies. I'm sorry for the delay. Little update real quick. So I'm gifting out 5 membies right now. I already basically posted the full Joaquin Buckley unreleased interview in the live tab because we watched it all together. So members, like you already got it pretty much, right? And not, you know, not to say that I'm not going to post it because I'm trying to tell you that I just uploaded the full Zoom meeting uninterrupted, right? Just the raw Zoom meeting of my interview with Joaquin Buckley, UFC 328 pre-fight interview. I am publishing it now to members only. Okay? It's been published now to members only. So if anybody, you know, didn't want to watch to the live where I'm commenting and pausing the video, I understand. And here you guys go. You know, as promised, sorry for the day delay. It was supposed to be posted yesterday. Sorry for the day delay. It's posted now. So Joaquin Buckley, UFC 328 pre-fight interview for his upcoming bout with Sean Brady on May 9th. The Raw Zoom meeting has been posted now, members only. So now let me gift out 5 memberships. Okay. Wait, if I go to this. Oh no. Also, if you don't give a fuck about, you know, a membership, just leave the channel. Not leave the channel, but leave this video. Because there's people who actually want memberships who want to go watch the Joaquin Buckley unreleased interview. So if you don't care about a membership, no hate to you, but just leave the stream so somebody who wants a membership can get it. You feel me? I'm finna gift it now. So membership gifting. We're gonna gift out 5 again. All right, boys, I'm hitting it now. So, you know, once again, like the video now, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and that's all I need from you. But here you go, 5 membies going out now. Day, shout out to Alex Behunin. What's poppin', Alex Behunin? I know Mr. Alex Behunin. Hey, Alex Behunin. I know you finna love that Joaquin Buckley unreleased hour-and-a-half long interview on members only. So we got a real journalist, Alex Behunin. Shout out to Alex Behunin. I know you, homie. I know you, homie. You be at them media days. Enjoy that interview, homie. It'll be getting released shortly, but clip by clip until I release the full thing. All right, boys. Shout out to everybody who watched. Peace out. Shout out to the new members. Boned Golf and Fish, Mo Jordan, James, Xavier. Sorry, AI2A, you didn't get one. And shout out to the streets. Shout out to Andrew Nance. Shout out Brian C. Shout out Tony Sal. Shout out Unbroken. Shout out to Space Kid. Shout out Jew. Shout out AI2A. Shout out Perfecto. Shout out MMA Rio. Shout out Manny Maron. Shout out Tony Sal. Shout out You're Retarded. Shout out to Meat Rocket, I think was in here. Shout out to James Pond. Shout out Tyler Betts. Shout out Jew again. Shout out to all my members out there. Shout out to Franklin for the dono. Shout out Kevin from Chicago. Real Street Soldier. Shout out to Corporal Tux for the donos as well. Shout out to Unbroken. I think I already said Unbroken. We be repeating now. Shout out to Zim. Shout out America First. All right, that's the top. That's the top of the chats. Oh, shout out Dundaughter. Shout out Dundaughter. And I didn't see him in here, but if Otto's in here, you know, shout out to my man Otto. Otto always comes in with the good vibes. So happy Easter, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And peace out. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching. Let's get some good news going for tomorrow. So hopefully we get some good headlines tomorrow. But we actually didn't speak about UFC 327. Sorry, I know I put it in the headline. I guess I clickbaited your asses. But I did plan on talking about it. But I'm kind of just like at my end. I've reached my bandwidth for the evening. We'll talk about UFC 327 tomorrow. Prochazka versus Ulberg. But let this be the little teaser. Prochazka finna get off all up in Ulberg's ass. I don't know who needs to hear it, but Prochazka finna get off all up in that ass. M354GM, shout out, homie. If you just tuned in, catch the replay.